And now, the world's favorite E-grade team, the Blues.
Welcome to the Welcome to the NBeanA podcast. Your finals preview episode, which is pretty exciting. We've got a few things to touch on today, but we'll introduce you to the starting five.
Oh, we're missing Chinnick today. He had some stuff on today, so
he got fouled out earlier in the quarter.
Yeah,
The beer is the last starter.
Beer is the last starter.
beer.
So let's introduce. I'm Brad, your host for this week, and we have Herzl, aka Bam, for finals MVP. We have Mitch, Bam, and the Boston's gone. Oh, so tragic. And Lockie, aka Higgling for Hero.
I'm higgling for hero, baby.
Can we have a definition on higgling before we continue?
Jiggling, but with a H for hero.
I think he just giggled.
Giggle. All right. So there's a few things. Mitch, before we go any further, I think you're wearing some attire wrong.
It's time. Give me a sec, boys. I just got to go off the screen for a second.
Oh, God.
All right. So, Connor, while he's gone, I think you can explain a little wager you boys had.
Well, we just came to a mutual agreement that if Miami was to win, which they did, that Mitch would wear some form of Miami attire, and if Boston were to win, I'd wear some form of Boston attire. Miami won in 6 off the back of a big game 6 from Bam Adebayo. And yeah, Mitch lost.
While Mitch is running away, do we want to touch on that series a bit?
Wait,
so if you want to run us down.
Can you boys hear that? Can you boys hear that?
Seemingly dismantled the Boston Celtics in the last
Beat
game.
LA. Beat LA.
There he is. If you're on Spotify, Mitch, the dedicated Celtics man, is wearing a Heat hat and a red shirt.
It does say LA. That's the final shirt.
He's going to get a white Sharpie and write beat.
It's very tragic times. The Heat were just better than us. There's not much more to say about it.
Deeper. The depth quality was just a little bit better. But yeah,
better in the crunch time. That was the main thing, I think, that they were better when it mattered.
100%.
The 2 games Boston won, they won kind of comfortably. They had the game sort of sealed with like 4 or 5 minutes to go. There wasn't really a lot Miami could do. But the games when they were in the balance, all 4 of the games that Miami won, it could have gone either way in the last 5 minutes. But
very frustrating.
Jason Tatum seems to lack a bit of a clutch gene sometimes.
I think a bit of that also just comes down to experience, though. Not in terms of like playoff experience or anything like that, because both teams have like young players, but like Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, like they're players that have been playing in the league for a while. Udonis Haslem would have been in everyone's ear the whole time.
Absolutely. Eric Spoelstra's
been playing for a while. Eric Spoelstra as well. And I think that was just it. Like I think they were just too good as a team. And Boston just tried to play too much solo ball, and you can't do that against the zone. You can't do that against a team that's playing team ball. You really can't. And fucking all credit to Spo.
Oh yeah,
just out coached almost that whole series.
Full on. But I don't even like. I think Brad Stevens would have been making the right calls. It was just we were just bad. Missing like Jason Tatum, our star player. Like he had 28 points in a half, but he had 0 in the first half.
It's so eerie to when Kobe, before he made his first finals. So eerie, similar to they're getting the same criticism now as what he was then. So it's the taking too many shots in the first quarter and taking too many shots in crunch time. It's so eerie.
It's going to be nuts.
Gives you a little bit of a big head going into the next few seasons as well.
I think it's a great experience for the boys though.
Oh, absolutely! Getting that far against the quality team.
100%. And I think we're going to have a bit of a chip on our shoulder for next season.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think we'll be one of the big teams to watch next game.
Absolutely. So,
what was that? One of the Heat's like big things as a team, like they play well and their coaching is awesome, but just the connection between the teammates and the chemistry that all those players have with each other. It's like it's got to be like one or first or second best in the league when it comes to like
100%.
all the teammates sharing that bond together.
And it's got to be like
Absolutely.
up there just in terms of trust.
Mhm.
Like you got to have so much trust in a 20-year-old to come out and drop 37 points,
Oh,
and trust him to just keep
Crazy.
him in the ball, and trust Duncan Robinson to come out and hit 3 threes in the first minute. Or
Yeah.
like it wasn't the first
And
minute, but it was
a
something
big
like
thing
that.
is like, what other team would trust a rookie to come out and just be a leading scorer for a team?
Yeah,
Well, they
it's
didn't trust
insane.
Magic Johnson when he hurt himself. You know, like the only reason they had to trust Magic Johnson when he scored 37 points as a 20-year-old is because their best player went down. So
Yeah.
then now it's Magic's time to shine. So Kareem,
The red shirt's
domed
coming
himself.
off. I'll keep the cap on, but you can't make me. You can't make me.
that wasn't part of the deal, was it, Herzl?
No, the deal was the cap. It was
The kit was the cat, right?
and the background. So
Another thing, like whoever mentioned Duncan Robinson before, it's
Yeah.
about the, and I was reading an article right before we started this about Heat's biggest strength is not having a number one option, and that's also their biggest weakness. But then I think it was me and Mitch were just sort of sitting in Discord going, oh,
It's not really
look,
a
I don't
weakness.
reckon that's much of a problem because you can trust Duncan Robinson to be scoring 20 points and getting all threes, but then you can also not have to rely on him the other nights to produce at that every time. Like you don't have to rely on that one person to do the same thing over and over and over. Makes it a hard
100%.
scouting task as well. Like,
And I think with that as well, is the fact that they consistently just have someone step up. Like a lot of teams, you go, okay, they don't really have a first option, which Boston kind of has that problem. Like for them, it's a bit of a issue purely because like they don't have a first option, but Miami have people that'll step up if someone isn't. Whereas like the thing for Boston is when some people were quiet, everyone was quiet.
Yeah, I think it's like as soon as Tatum.
yeah,
As soon as he started shooting himself in the foot, it was like
It just
it takes him 2 or 3 quarters to figure out who the second option is. All of a sudden, it's
exactly.
Yeah.
it usually would fall onto Jaylen Brown, but
Yeah, but
sometimes
then
he
having
wasn't
Kemba
ready for
there
it.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I'll just quickly run through this. Miami's best player, Jimmy Butler, was their 4th leading scorer for this series. He went at 19 points a game. Tyler Hero went at 19.2. Dragic went at 20.5. Not 30, but it's still
did he
good.
drop 30? Did he drop 30?
And then Bam Adebayo led the team with 21.8 points a game.
Bam was massive.
That's
He was
4
the one
guys.
person that we couldn't stop.
I'm
Four
going
guys
to
that
give
close.
Connor a little bit of a clap here for almost calling the most outlandish
I'll give
thing
you
ever. That was very good, Connor.
I
We were
think-
laughing, but that almost very well.
Dude, I was very nervous, especially after that first game after you called it when he had 29.
And then he backed it up at 25. I was like,
Yeah.
am I onto something here?
I'll tell you what, though,
Jesus.
I think he'll have a bigger series this one. Like, this would be the series to do it because I don't think there's anyone on
You need
Lakers.
it. You need to not say it. Connor needs to say it
Yeah,
because it's
go
not
on.
going to happen.
Goran
Dragic to drop
Dragic can drop
35.
50 a game. No. You're going. Okay, I'll be more reasonable this time. I think he'll go at who's
No, don't be more
their
reasonable.
point guard?
There's
gonna
no
be-
point. There's Rondo.
It's going to be
Yeah, he's
Rondo,
gonna go
Caruso.
Is Caldwell Pope going
KCP?
to do anything?
No,
No.
dude,
Dragic's
I'm
gonna
telling
go
you, this
22
will be
a
the
game.
series he'll drop 30.
Yeah, he'll go off for 30 at one point in one of the games, and then he'll go at 22 for the series, I think.
yeah.
But
I did say in the
yeah.
group chat Jimmy Butler will average 25 in the finals. So I just figured I'd mention that as well.
So you might as well just give me 12 points in the
Yeah.
rating system there.
Yeah,
for that
right.
one.
But yeah, do we want to? We'll keep talking about the Boston series real quick just to get it over and done with because it's the last sort of thing. It's the last series we had to talk about, and the Nuggets too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just to quickly end the whole Boston talk, it was just the turnovers that got us seriously. Like, and I know that in the last game, I think we actually had less turnovers, but we just. Well, I won't say turnovers. I'll say efficiency. It's efficiency with the ball in our hands, and then efficiency shooting just fucked us. Like we just couldn't get it done on the offensive end. We'd either bring it down turnover, or bring it down, throw up a shit shot. And Jason Tatum, I love him, like to God, love him. But he needs to stop doing this every time he has a layup and gets fouled. Every time his hands go up and he drops the ball. Every time. And it's just becoming like LeBron where he could have like legitimately 4 extra points, 6 extra points. but he's just flopping. It's like, mate, you're a young gun who's got a bit of strength behind you. Fucking back yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Another cause for those turnovers, I reckon, Jimmy's defense
Yeah,
throughout that
he's
whole
so
series.
good, man. So
He had a
good.
lot of intercepts.
He
Yeah.
just reads it well, doesn't he? He goes, he can see when the ball's going somewhere and just.
And then
yeah.
Iguodala as well. He got quite a few strips and intercepts at really important moments. He
He's
gets his
still
hands
got
in the
it.
way on those drives,
Yeah.
and that's what it's massive. Like when you're trying to drive and then all of a sudden the ball's not in your hands anymore, it's kind of hard to score, isn't it?
I was thinking one of the
I
other
mean,
Does that?
we talked about it a bit last week as well, as far as we're talking about sort of centers having to talk and sort of lead their team. If Tice isn't talking on Boston, no one really steps up unless Marcus Smart's out there all the time, and he's not out there all the time. He probably only plays 30 minutes a game, but he's the talker for the team. When you've got Bam who's talking the whole time, and he does talk the whole time, then you got Jimmy talking louder the whole time. He's relaying. If you listen to the audio, he relays what Bam's saying.
Yeah.
That whole team is on a fucking string. Like they know what's happening. Even you've got, and I've got to give props to Henny Hero again. He's not a good defender, but that talk makes him look like a very capable defender.
A couple of steals and intercepts just from
talk. It's talk. It's
all
hustles.
talk,
The
yeah.
boys getting around you. It's the
say,
chemistries.
I legitimately
Nuts.
thought Iggy was a bit past it, and then watching this series, you go, "Fuck, he's still mentally, he's just got it."
Because when you play with your head and not your body, you're going to stay in the league a lot longer.
If you're one of those players, like one of those sort of supporters that looks only at stats and stuff, you go, "Fuck, okay, maybe Iggy's not all that good anymore."
Mm-hmm.
But he is a significant part of that Miami team. And
he shot 5 from 5 in Game 6.
Yeah, right.
And I think 3 or 4 of them were threes as well.
But then the game before that, he probably had 2 points or something, right?
Probably he does that, but
he doesn't need to score.
He's not there to score. But if he's got an open shot, he'll take it.
Exactly, and that's the thing about Miami is that there's so many players like that. Jay Crowder doesn't need to score, but he can give you 15.
I love when Jay Crowder has a scoring night, though. It's so nice to watch.
And because him and Jimmy played college together, didn't they? Or high school
they
together?
They
so they just
played
get
at Marquette
hyped
together
for each other and stuff, which is awesome. But dude, it's just I'm so keen to watch this Miami team in the finals against like LeBron. I think it's going to be such a good series to watch. And from now to the end of the finals, go Heat. I'm on the train. They beat me, and now they're taking me with them. Henny Hero,
my boy.
He's so good, isn't he?
Hey, he's smooth. I was watching his little brother on YouTube reacts to all his highlights.
Dude, he was
every time he's like, I could take him one-on-one. I was like, oh, maybe in a few years. Hopefully he comes to the NBA too.
Different in high school.
Yeah, man, he was good. He loved feeding off the dipshit crowds, and
they'd be yapping at him 40 on him. Fucking go, dude. I think he's my favorite player left in finals.
Yeah, fair call.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Iggy.
He's just so nice.
It's a bit of Kentucky as well. Bam's from Kentucky. Bam and Hero both went to Kentucky. Did AD go to Kentucky as well?
AD went to Kentucky.
Yeah. There's a few players that went to Kentucky that still left.
But yeah, so I think is that all we had to talk about Boston?
Cool. Yeah, we can move on to Lakers and Denver in what I would call the biggest disappointment of the playoffs by a long shot. As far as quality of play. Yeah, Lakers and Nuggets.
Yeah,
I'd say quality of play. The standard.
I'd say
of the game
quality of officiating.
Yeah, it just brings it all down as far as fluency of the game.
Like when you're talking about quality of play, like Jamal Murray. Did you see
that?
Yeah,
true. I don't mean quality of play.
Image of MJ's layup, the one where he's come up here,
brought
it down, oh, dude,
that was insane.
He's the best thing to come out of the bubble.
Yeah, no
absolutely.
doubt.
Like insane.
And I'm glad we kind of called it a few weeks ago. We were talking about what team you'd prefer. It was in the when we were talking about the Utah and the Nuggets series. We were talking about who early on. We were like, who would you prefer to have around you? And we all said pretty unanimously the young Nuggets team.
And I think Lockie called it when we were like, because this was when I think Nuggets were down I think they were down 3-1 or they were down 2 at that point. And we were like, oh, what do they need to fix? And Lockie goes, they need to have the ball in Jamal Murray's hands. and next thing you know, they get the ball in Jamal Murray's hands, and they come back from 2-3-1 deficits. Oh, bro, Lockie, you're
Good
mate,
call.
big brain.
What
That's
can I say?
insane, man.
Jiggling for Jamal.
Jiggling for Jamal.
I'm jiggling.
Nah, man. Well, Lockie, do you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, well, like Brad said, the officiating kind of made the games hard to watch with the Lakers and the Nuggets. But like even with that, you got to say, Jamal Murray playing amazing, Jokic playing amazing, LeBron is still LeBron. He's
King, right?
king. But I want to get your guys' opinion on this. AD, no boards at all this series.
No.
Yeah,
What do we
what
have
did
to
he-
think about that?
What sort of did he? What happened?
80s.
I reckon.
Yep.
I reckon they, the coach, I forget if I'm getting a
Vogel.
lapse.
Vogel, Frank Vogel.
I reckon it was a point that AD focuses more on scoring than boards. Because he had more points in this series than he has the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You reckon the coach just come out and told him just go get buckets? Like,
Yeah, I reckon because why else would AD not use his massive size
because
to
he's
get
a
boards?
bum.
It's kind of crazy too.
Because he's a bum. All right, we can move on.
He's a bum.
That's it.
No, I think we've said it every time we've touched on the Lakers. He just doesn't like to play in the paint as much as he's good at it. I reckon he's a phenomenal player when he actually uses all of his physical gifts, but he'd prefer to play like Steph Curry and hang out at the three, or
Yeah.
drive the lanes weirdly where he's pretty easily shut down. And I feel like Eric Spoelstra is going to have the recipe to say
I'm
no, thank you.
I'm so keen to see what defensive setup he throws at the Lakers because
they were flipping around zones. They were going man to man.
Right.
They were going box and one. It was so interesting to watch.
who goes, we're going to play a zone against a good 3-point shooting team and we're going to kill them with it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so keen to see that. And I just actually no, we won't. I was going to go into matchups for the finals. We won't do that
Too
yet.
early.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
We all are.
Jokic as well stepped up massively. I think he had the
Yeah.
biggest points per game jump between playoffs and regular season. I remember seeing that stat. He went up about 6 or 7 points per game.
Jeez.
And I'm pretty sure his rebound numbers and everything like that. Like,
Mitch, technical difficulties.
Oh, am I beep booping?
No, we just
Yes,
hear
just
for a
went
second.
silent for a bit.
So what was that?
yeah, I think like his rebound numbers and assist numbers and stuff went up as well. And I think he just
Played
showed
less
that
minutes.
he's a leader of the team.
Did he?
I
He was
think,
in foul trouble. The whole.
Yeah, he was.
I think he proved himself though to be that leader of the him and Jamal Murray are just those unanimous leaders of the Nuggets.
And if you're a Nuggets fan, shout out to Dougie, one of my oldest friends. He's been a Nuggets fan forever, and he's just frothing this
Right.
series because he's got Jokic, potentially. Imagine the payday. What's his name's going to get? He's playing on LeBron. Already out of my head.
Shall
Grant?
I take
Jeremiah
Jeremiah
Grant.
Grant, yeah.
Jeremy
He's
Grant?
getting
He was
a
playing,
contract.
yeah.
I'll take the praise now, boys, for calling it my player to watch, Jeremy
It was
Grant.
good.
And I did say it'd be his defensive plays, and his points numbers went up as well. But
Dude, when you have someone who doesn't back away from LeBron, don't back away from LeBron, and then don't back away from LeBron and AD doubling you,
right?
Yeah.
give
He
that
just
man...
he straight ran through AD and
Dude,
LeBron like they
legit,
were
on that
like a
fast break. That was nuts.
traffic cones.
And
Just
if you're making early predictions next year about most improved player, if he goes on somewhere like the Hornets, if he goes somewhere like the Bulls, most improved players, I would tip him.
Yeah, right.
Everything. But yeah, you're coming out with more positives. Same with Celtics, I think. I think you're coming out with more positives than negatives from these series. Your coaches are good.
Definitely.
You've developed well. You've gone further.
Should we
but
talk about what the two teams that are out want to do during off season now? Like, should we just touch on it really quick, or do we want that to leave that for another podcast or a later segment?
we could touch on it.
Touch on it real quick, yeah.
I don't see why not.
What do we think? What do we think the Nuggets need to do then?
Mitch, your
Fucking
mic
hell,
again.
What is happening? Am I back?
You're back.
Yep.
Okay. What do we think the Nuggets need to do?
Keep Grant. Keep
Yeah.
Grant.
Keep Grant.
Keep
I think-
developing.
Michael Porter Jr. could be a candidate for most improved next year as well.
Dude, that's a good call. That's
Because
a good
he
call.
did make
because
the all bubble team, from being like barely. He didn't play a lot of minutes in the regular season, I don't think.
I'd love to touch on Michael Porter Jr. a little bit because his improvement defensively from just this series, from game 1 to the last game, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's confident because you got to. I would be daunted playing against LeBron James for the first time
100%.
for fucking
And
how many
knowing
times.
that you're going and being in his position as well, being that like quicker power forward, he would have known he was going to be switching between LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and the fact that he talked a lot of shit. You've got confidence from this kid pretty early on. He's going to be a point getter. But his defensive improvement from game 1 to game 5 is so overwhelmingly positive to look at.
I didn't get a chance to watch many of these Lakers games, and I'm quite disappointed in that.
It's really good.
But
the fact that he threw an oop to himself in traffic.
Did he?
He threw an oop to himself
off the
in
glass.
traffic.
Yeah,
that is so good.
And it
He's
was just savvy.
That dunk on, was it Montrezl Harrell against the Clippers?
Oh, man.
You got to remember with him, he was pretty much a consensus #1 pick before he got hurt.
100%.
Absolutely. He was.
I put money on him. I loaded up on him to get Rookie of the Year when he came back from injury.
Because he's
Really?
back, like a back.
Yeah.
And I want to give him a little bit of credit for this because it's back injuries that kept him out. Back is so imperative from going side to side on defense
100%.
that maybe he doesn't have that confidence to go left and right.
People don't realize how big as well it is in just sort of throwing down a dunk. Because you got to think, if you're coming back like that, that's all in your back.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite bloopers of this whole series was when Michael Porter Jr. rose up to slam it over AD, and as soon as he hit his peak of height, his face dropped.
Yeah.
Because he knew he was getting blocked and just threw it into AD's hands and just let it happen.
It really.
It was
AD
very
just
sad
went up
moment.
with him.
But he got so high he could change his reaction and went, ooh, no, bang.
Something I reckon Michael Porter Jr. should work on is being a reliable third scoring option, because when he has the ball and he makes a big play, he gets a bit too hot-headed and cocky, and he gets a bit rough with the ball after he's done something big.
Yeah. He reminds me a lot of, and you would have been sad you missed this, Lucky, but early Levine when he played for Timberwolves was the exact same. He hits 2 shots, he's not passing the ball the next 5 possessions. He's shooting every shot. It's so good. Or he's going to get 1 dunk and then try for the next 3 dunks.
What's a little bit crazy? Is that sometimes, like realistically, right, Jokic isn't like a scoring option for them.
No.
He's just an all-around option. Like they give him the ball and go, you choose the options. Like we don't care, just choose.
We trust
right?
you.
And the fact that Michael Porter Jr. could be a second scoring option above Jokic, but Jokic can still give you 25 points a night.
He's going to clean up as well.
Oh, dude!
How terrifying is it that an all-around option can give you games of 30, 20, and 10?
Dude, right? And do it without being cocky in the slightest.
Do we want to? We're very Denver at the moment. Should we talk about the Lakers just a little bit?
LeBron stepped up.
LeBron stepped up.
Yeah, big time.
How scary is it to know that you can play the best defense sets of all, and you're still gonna have LeBron?
How much did he score in Game 5? Like when it mattered,
it was 30 odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he's got 38, like 15 boards and like 10 assists or something like that. Something crazy.
And that's not the first time he's done that this bubble playoff.
Yeah.
Where he's had over like 30, 12, and 12. I think he had 30, 15, and 16 in another game.
Yeah, he just gets... It's just... Oh.
And Brad, you go.
Yeah. So something that I do notice about LeBron, when LeBron does this in finals, he gets to a finals and he gets into a bit of a survival mode.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between LeBron getting full of momentum. So this is the best LeBron. This is, in my opinion, the closest he's been since leaving. Not athleticism-wise, but closest he's been to being that scary player that he was in Miami. Yeah. But sometimes especially when he was in Cavs playing Golden State, he goes into survival mode. So if he knows he's going to start losing, he puts up a very statistically heavy game.
40 points.
But this particular LeBron that we just saw in this series, and probably this playoffs, I'm going to extend it to. This is scary LeBron. This is LeBron with momentum. And I don't like
crazy
it because
early days bubble and early finals rounds. You said this, Brad. You were like, he just looks a bit slow, and then we were like, like he looks a bit tired, like he's not bouncing back and stuff like that. I think he's warmed up.
He's warmed up, but I think this is going to be like more of a thing. it's good that you say that, because this is when you put people into the GOAT conversation. This pains me to say it, but when you put people into the GOAT conversation, it's how do they adapt to when their
Right.
body doesn't work anymore.
And he's doing the
He's
Kobe
adapting.
change. He's doing the
that
Kobe change, which is
And this
obviously
is-
not to the skill level that Kobe did the change.
Yeah,
He's
'cause-
still got that athleticism.
Yeah, still
and can
120
go through
kilos.
people,
You're going to
right?
use it as much as you're allowed.
But the way
A bit
he's
more as well.
Yeah.
I can still this pass that he threw in game 3, I think it was, maybe game 2, drove in with his body like predominantly looking to the left, jumped up, turned around, and still
Oh,
threw it out around a body, and
He's
he
a-
dotted.
he's a
I think
freak.
it might have been Green in the corner, and I was sitting there watching it, going, "This bloke's 35."
30,
Yeah.
35. This is a big conversation, and I love having this conversation with anyone that will listen about, the greatest of all time
Yeah,
ever. And then the way I justify LeBron not being in my top, 2, 3, or whatever is, I don't think LeBron's, a top 5 basketball player of all time. I think he's the greatest athlete of all time,
100%.
bar none. I
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
compare him with any absolute
from
person.
any sport.
I'm not taking credit. He could go in any sport. He could go wrestling. He could go freaking
Yeah,
ice hockey. He
100%.
could do whatever he wanted to do. I
NFL.
think he's the greatest athlete of all time. Like,
Yeah, legitimately, and to do it for so long without injury.
and another thing, a longevity type of thing. Do I think he's one of the best basketballs of all time? I don't personally.
He's got to be your top 10, right?
Oh, easy,
Yeah, okay.
easy top 5.
Yeah, but
Like I saw an article, and I can't remember who wrote it, so I can't quote him directly, but it said, if you picture an athlete or the type of athlete body you want to have, it's got to be LeBron, right?
100%, right?
Absolutely.
And that could
Absolutely.
even extend, like, there might be a hot topic in this group, but definitely imagine the type of basketballer body you
Right.
want to have. It's got to be like someone like LeBron who
Right.
can do a bit of everything.
And then because you also, and I don't think it's fair that some people put his like athleticism and play style against him, because it's not his fault that he's 120 kegs and like an
6'9",
explosive,
is he?
right?
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
He's-
Like people go, oh yeah, he just drives through people, blah blah blah. Mate, if you've got it, use it.
Absolutely.
Like there's people with that size that don't use it anywhere near as well as he does, right? And I completely understand the whole, like, oh, you compare him to Kobe, and Kobe had the footwork and the shooting and the one-on-one and all that, right? And like you go, okay, Kobe's probably more skilled, right?
Yep.
But like you can't take away from LeBron just because his play style isn't as pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I think when you look at the teams that he's played on and some of the bums that he's made look really good, like it's just
Mario Chalmers.
I just think that like I think he doesn't get enough credit still.
No,
for what
LeBron's
he's
such
done.
an interesting case with me because it's a hard argument and it's a fun argument to have.
Right?
But like my main knocks on him is he's 200 kilo. No, he's not 200. He's like 120 kilos, but he
Soft.
flails around.
See, and just really quick, something I want to mention just before we move away from it, is when I mentioned, like, like you talk about skilled players as opposed to like talented players, right? One person that we were talking about who has had a year off and is about to come back, and I seriously would not count him out of MVP, is Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the most skilled people I've
He
ever
is
seen.
the
touch a
best
ball.
scorer I reckon I've almost ever seen.
Yeah.
Just in terms of ball handle, shooting, athleticism, defense, he's got it. Like he's dude, and like a couple of the beans, like Lockie, Chittick, like you boys are newer to basketball, so you haven't had the chance of seeing KD like going at it,
I'm very excited
He
to
was
watch the next
scary.
season, bro.
right?
He was
How
scary,
good?
especially like the season at OKC when they lost to Miami in the finals. Like
23.
Dude,
yeah, that's how like he's been that good for that long.
And you talk about like supporting cast in that one too. It's like, oh, he had Harden. Oh,
Right.
he had Westbrook. It's like, yeah, they're a detriment to your team. They're not
Yeah,
going
right.
anywhere.
right? Like, oh, dude.
Like, have a look. It's Kevin Durant really dragged those guys. He, let Russ have all of his shots and all that stuff, but he really dragged,
That's nuts. man.
those guys over the
Can-
hump. And
Can he go into the talks for most improved from not playing to dropping 30 points a night?
I'll allow it.
Average 0, 0, and 0 to
Yeah.
averaging 38, 12, and 14. Yeah,
Dude,
that's,
he's gonna
that's
be
most
a
improved.
problem. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that really quick because I got excited because we were watching his highlights during the week.
Speaking
And,
of other forwards dominating LeBron,
Yeah, right.
Kevin Durant.
But yeah, so is that series done with?
That's
Yeah.
that's the Lakers. Pretty
Yeah,
much
that's
the
it.
outcome of that one's
Gary
watch out
Harris
for
was a
LeBron.
bit disappointing. I think we should mention.
Oh, he was good. He was good defensively. Just
They
couldn't get it.
needed him to score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they needed him this series. Like defensively, he was really good. They needed him both ends.
The
Yeah.
final note I want to have for the Nuggets Lakers series
Nakers.
is the Nakers. Even like if you're a Nuggets fan, you got to be happy with how
Gotta be.
the team played. Like you went to the conference finals, man. That's a big achievement, especially
Yeah.
for such a young team.
Yeah.
100%, man. And
So you've got to be super excited for what the Nuggets can do next year.
and there's
They
so
bet
much
the
they
Clippers.
can do.
Yeah, they bet
They
the
bet
Clippers.
the Clippers.
Have we that happened
Yeah.
since the last podcast?
Yeah. We've
Yeah.
talked about that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go so
insane.
far as to say they embarrassed them. They made them
did.
look like chumps.
Legit.
We're going to talk about that later, but I think
Yeah.
they're forced to blow up. I think they're
Yeah.
forced to blow up.
Yeah.
Mini-
Um.
Reset there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, do we want to go into the finals predictions?
Let's do it.
Let's do
I
it, let's do
predict,
it.
here's a big one. I predict
Okay.
that Dion Waiters will get a championship ring.
I don't think, dude. If Lakers win, I don't think he'll take it.
I
He'll
think he
take
will.
it. I think
If
he's a
Lakers-
little shit.
Actually,
I don't think he's the kind of
not
bloke
if
that would
Lakers
say
win.
no
Sorry,
to it.
if Heat win, my bad.
I don't
I
think
think
he's
he's
the kind of
taking
bloke to say no to it. I don't think he's that
Neither.
kind of bloke.
But I hope he doesn't because
He
if Heat win,
he deserves it for not snitching on whoever it was that had the edibles in the plane. Because they weren't, when he was on Miami, they weren't his. They weren't
Did you not
his.
know about that, Lucky?
No? What
He had some
happened?
edible gummies.
So he
in the
played
plane.
for Heat at that start of the season.
They were going, I think they were playing Lakers. They were on the plane to LA. It was either Lakers or Clippers or something. On the plane to LA, he had a bit of a panic attack on the team plane over because he'd had some edibles and like edible gummies. Don't know what he was doing that for, but he did it.
No.
And he had a bit of a panic attack and then he wouldn't snitch. They weren't his, but he wouldn't snitch on who it was.
And he got
word-
sacked shortly after.
but yeah,
word
Oh my
was that it was
God.
Tyler
Lucky,
Heroes,
like-
but that's not confirmed at all.
yeah, I
Um,
don't know if you've seen the memes, Lucky, about and like what Connor said is that he'll get a ring either way. It's because he played enough games for Heat to be eligible for a ring.
Really?
Yeah.
So no
you
matter
gotta-
what, he's won.
Yeah, so you got to play how many games? Like
God.
what? It's like 30
I think you
or
have to
40
play
odd games, right?
30% of the games.
Yeah, to get a ring
To
if the
be
team
eligible.
wins at the
Well, he
end.
was there until I don't know how many games he actually played, but he was there until
Yeah,
almost the trade deadline.
which is
Then we
something
traded
they
him
should
to
bring into
Memphis
AFL actually. Like Bob Murphy not getting a ring when Western
Dude,
Bulldogs run.
yeah. That's a
Mate.
big one.
Yeah,
That's
Anyway,
tragic.
sorry, that's just my
Yeah.
mind just ticked over that. But yeah, so I hope he doesn't take it if they
I
don't.
hope he does. I would.
Dude, you would as well.
Such a Miami Heat Lakers thing to do. It's like, nah, I'm taking it.
I'm taking it, yeah.
Take it.
We'll leave kind of the last because I think he's been pretty close with his predictions, and I think we'll leave him to last. Brad,
Yeah.
did you want to go first?
Cool. Yeah, I
Do
want
you
to
want
go.
to quickly talk about what I've
Do you want to talk about matchups first and then predictions as an
about my
overall?
Yeah,
point
right.
system?
Go the
first?
points.
No, go for it.
Go on.
I'll just quick update on the point system. So Chinik said Celtics in 7, Lakers in 6. Mitt said Celtics in 6, Lakers in 7. Brad said Celtics and Lakers both in 7. Lockie said Heat in 6 and Nuggets in 7. And I said Heat in 7, Lakers in 6. So that leaves the playoff point system. I'm out in front on
Fucking
9.5
killed.
points. Lockie's right up my ass on 9 points. A bit of a gap. Mitch is on 7.5. Chinnick's on 6, and Brad is down the bottom on 5.5.
So Hertz, I have to pick the other person to you and get the games right to win, right?
No, you can't win. It's only me and Lockie that is still in a chance.
I thought you got a point for each thing.
No. It's the finals. You double these points.
Oh,
This
yeah.
round's
Double the
Okay,
points.
it's
Double
double
the
points.
points.
Double
Double
points.
points.
Double points. Okay. So there is still a chance for some wins to happen, blah, blah, blah. But at the
Also,
moment-
really, really quick, check our Instagram page at NBeanA to get Tunic's prediction.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll be posted up there once this is all up. But yeah, sorry, Connor.
So yeah, I'm out in front, half a point ahead of Lockie, and then a bit of a gap. Then Mitch,
Yeah.
Chinnick, Brad down on his lonesome at the bottom.
And we all took the piss out of the point system, but it's worked out. It does
It's
work.
working.
You can't deny it. Except none of us are surprised that somehow Hertz ended up winning it.
I'm
I'll
winning
just
my own
give
point
myself
system.
2
What are the
points.
odds?
Yeah.
What are the odds? I'm winning my own point system.
2 points just because Heat. That's why.
Yeah,
Well,
But yeah, let's go into matchups. I think.
let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Do we want a breakdown? We'll go from center to point or point to center.
Yeah, all right.
do we
Let's
reckon?
do it.
Go point to center.
Point to
Oh,
center.
what were you saying?
I'm not sure how the Lakers are going to line up because I think a smart move from them would be to have.
LeBron at point.
No, yes, but no. I was thinking more have Dwight and AD starting because that'll be a bit of a. It'll be harder to match up for Miami.
Yeah.
So-
I
That's
think they said something about Dwight starting.
That's
Yeah.
easier to game plan against though, because if as soon as I know Dwight's, and they didn't really have the personnel with Jokic last matchup.
Run his own
they had,
again.
Just run. Dwight can only run 2 or 3 possessions before he needs to stop. You make that fucker run.
Dwight?
Bam can run.
Really?
Yeah. Bam
Um,
doesn't stop. I love
Oh
him.
no, I know Bam can run, but I just didn't know
Dwight's just a
that.
bit old though. That's the thing.
Dwight's just old. He's not
He
like
could.
bad.
He couldn't run, but he was always athletic.
Yeah.
But now he's just old.
Mhm.
Um,
So we want to start at point.
Yeah,
Start
so-
at point. So who's the matchup for this one? Dragic versus.
Kentavious Caldwell Pope.
Oh, you are taking Dragic every
Every
freaking
day.
Yes,
100.
sir.
That's why he's dropping 30 points. I'm on the train. We're Heat
KCP's
all the
only
way.
on there for defense though, so he might only drop 25 points.
I was going to say KCP is.
He hasn't been as good defensively as they. I think they keep him on for defense, but he's better offense than
He
he
hasn't
is
been
defense.
kept on
and
for
he's not
offense.
great.
He hasn't been on offensively, has he?
I don't know. He's just a filler.
I
He's
think
a
they keep
filler.
him starting because they want Rondo coming off the bench to lead the second unit. I think that's the main.
Yeah.
How good is Rondo been? He'll be
Oh,
massive.
bro.
He'll be massive in Lakers winning this.
If,
That's
If
what I
they
mean.
win.
Yeah. Like if they were to win, it'll be a lot of Rondo.
Could even they slot Rondo in? Either way, I probably want Dragic for pure.
Yeah,
I think they just want Rondo leading the second unit though.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
just in terms of leadership.
Because
Yeah.
who's leading the bench players for Lakers if
Yeah.
he's not?
Um,
And this is
yeah, and I think if you do start him, like I don't think he's a bit past it defensively, and he's never been that high level defender. Like he's been good, but he's never been that
Mhm.
elite.
he had lots of good help behind him.
Yeah,
in
I think
Boston
he's
teams.
only out there just to equal the plus minus.
Yeah.
Like because he'll give you more points and points accounted for them.
He's really
sort
good
of
at getting the bums involved.
KCP will, yeah. Yeah, you've got to be taking Dragic any day of the week.
Yeah, you go be.
I'd have to,
He'll average over 20 points this season.
and his trajectory's just gone. This player
Every
is getting
game.
better and better and
Every
better. He
game,
hasn't
right?
sagged off.
He's
And
34.
yeah.
34.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 34. He's
Dragic
30
is-
something.
Actually,
He's been around forever because he was back up to Steve Nash, Mitch.
Yeah, he
holy shit.
Yeah.
played with Shaq in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's how long ago it was.
Dude, I hope he gets a ring.
Because
Dude, he's
Did it,
34.
was he... What other teams has he played for?
just these two.
So, just Heat.
He and Phoenix. And then his
So he
brother,
played for Phoenix.
Zoran
So he
Dragic.
wasn't there LeBron times,
Also
was
played
he?
for Phoenix,
Was
didn't he?
Dragic there LeBron times?
Nah.
No, that was a part of the
Okay, yeah.
rebuild.
Yeah, he
rebuild,
was
which is very quick.
2015, so that was the first year that LeBron had gone, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And he was an
Yep.
All-Star in that year.
Yeah, first
All-Star in
year,
2018, actually.
You know, I think he's listened to people go, Dragic isn't an all-star, blah, 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 and come out and just gone, fuck you
Oh.
guys. Like,
Well, he got-
And
Off-
you
Most improved, All-NBA third team in 2014. And then he went over to Miami, and he's been there for a few years, got his All-Star nod a few years
severely
in.
underrated.
That's nuts.
he's one of the people. He's like a student of the game. He's never stopped learning from the start. He's been in there to the thing, and it's just to like learn off
Constant
Nash,
improvement.
and then coming and learning off. Now he's learning off Jimmy.
Right.
Because he's better defensively now. But I'd like
Yeah,
to make this
man.
comparison really quickly to Connor and see if you agree a little bit. Dragic is just the new Tony Parker.
Or, yeah, I think Tony Parker's better, obviously.
I prefer 34-year-old Dragic than 34-year-old Tony Parker.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's a good call, yeah.
At that
Yeah.
age, but
But the same role, he's just there to make everyone run,
yeah,
there to make
Moves the
everyone
ball.
make the right play.
and can score if you need.
Yeah.
Get back on defense too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what I was thinking of. The the whole
He's just been
series. I was
so
waiting
good
for the
to watch.
podcast to make that comparison.
I didn't realize
But,
he was such a versatile scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms
He's
of
got
just
floater game for days.
yeah,
He
and
does.
and consistently shooting threes this last series and stuff. Like this last playoffs, he's fucking gets buckets.
Get a bucket, yeah.
Yeah.
Get you a bucket when you need it.
Yeah, 100%.
And do you know what the really crazy thing about him too? And just from watching these games, because I actually watch them all after work and stuff, so I'm pretty zonked out when I watch them. But I've had the week
Yeah.
off, so I've been watching I've been trying to catch up like even more.
Yeah.
The thing is, they let him score, thinking that, and he's thinking this too. He's like, if I score, they're going to start coming out to me, and they just don't start coming out to him. He's just
Right.
plonking and
Just
plonking
left
and
to do
plonking.
his own thing.
Just left to his own thing. He's like, oh, they're going to play defense on me soon. No, they're not doing it yet.
No,
He's
no.
not floater,
Yeah,
floater,
not yet.
3-pointer. It's kind of like, yeah, oh well, he's gonna start kicking it to Jimmy if we come close out to him. So it's not going to close out to him.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
cool.
And he's another
Cool.
thing with him. His floaters and his alley oops are so similar. It's so hard to tell which is which. I can't tell what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's
Do you reckon
gonna.
his teammates know?
But he's got
Like,
him and I don't think Bam knows either. Him and Bam have a deadly pick and roll, and when he's pulling up for a floater, nobody knows if he's like. I don't think
Yeah.
even he knows if he's shooting it or if he's passing it.
He's like, I'm just going to put it up there and we'll just see what happens.
If it goes in, it goes in.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, Bam's got it.
So not much to talk about as far as point guards for Lakers because we don't really know what they're going to do. And either way, we're taking Dragic. So we want to go head over to the two.
Yeah.
Who we got at the two? We've got
Duncan Robinson, and
is he playing the two?
Yeah.
He's so odd.
Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, both 2 and 3, sort of like they're both sort of interchangeable.
Yeah,
They
we'll call him
play
two.
Jimmy
Let's call him
Butler-
two.
They play Jimmy Butler at the 3 though, purely defensively.
Defense.
So we say Duncan Robinson's a 2 against Danny Green.
Yeah.
They're both very streaky sometimes. I think I back
I
just
think
from
I'm taking
this.
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, just this playoffs, I'd back Duncan Robinson in.
Even just consistency.
Danny
which
Green
is
hasn't had it this
so
playoffs.
insane to
Nah,
say.
not at all.
Considering Danny Green is normally such a consistent shooter.
Yeah, he's been a bit off. I don't know what's going on with him. He's just been off.
Duncan Robinson has one of the most consistent, like consistent jump shots, not in terms of it going in or not, but every time he shoots, it's the exact
looks
same
the
that I've
exact
seen
same,
for
yeah.
a long time. And he really reminds me of Klay Thompson when he's shooting. Not in, like again, style completely different, but he there's a couple of shots
Doesn't
where
need
he
a dribble.
catches it
The
and
form,
just throws
yeah.
it off, and every time bang, 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 and people this close to him, people backing off. Like he's so consistent.
And I'm going to make a bit of an argument for Danny Green.
Yeah.
Is this just Danny Green due? Is he due for a big games now?
He's got to
Is
be
that
due
it?
sometime.
He's got to be due.
It makes me think because there's been a few players that have come out and said it, and Paul George was one of them. Maybe the bubble's just getting to him a bit, just mentally. Maybe he's
Yeah,
struggling.
he's got a
mentally.
It's got to be.
Like-
It's got to be taxing on you.
Yeah, which is so disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a shame that that's happening. As Brad said, he's got like a family at home and stuff, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like I don't know if that affects. I don't.
Actually,
They
something
don't really
that-
show those type of
Yeah, they don't
players'
talk about that
families in
stuff.
the crowd. Even if they were there,
I
you don't really know.
think he might have got engaged just before the bubble started.
Something
just
that I just
before,
want
I
to
think
bring
that
up
might
really
happen.
quick, talking of family. Gordon Hayward missed the birth of his 4th child to lose.
Yeah.
To get-
His
He missed the
wife
birth of his
must be
child to
angry.
get Tyler Hero to drop 37 on him.
Yeah, right. Fuck. You'd be
That was
you'd be
worth it.
fuming.
Gross mustache. He kind of deserved it that series.
You got to name it.
Oh.
Gross mo.
Oh.
That's a
Oh, Mitch
dad
is
mo.
insulted.
That's a dad mo.
That is a dad mo. But that's 40, 50-year-old dad mo.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love him.
So are we
But
going general
I'm-
consensus? We'd prefer to have
I'm
Duncan.
going Duncan.
Yeah.
But then
Duncan
I
is-
reckon
You guys.
the whole. No, I was going to move on. So
No, okay. Really quick. Duncan, the last couple of games has shown that he's not just a 3-point shooter.
Can I? Oh, that's another thing that the commentators really pissed me off while watching all these games. I think he's just a shooter.
Yeah.
But if you've watched, I watch a little bit of G League if I can, especially if the Santa Cruz are playing as well. He's not a shooter, man. He can.
Didn't he
He'll-
average
his
22
first-
points or something in the G League?
It's nuts. He will shoot his first 5 shots are going to be jump shots. I'll tell you now. That's free information. His first 5,
Yeah.
and then he's going to the ring, and then he's going to the ring, taking a step back. He's deadly. He's versatile. He's really comparable to like your Michael Porter Jr. He's sort of variations of shots that he was taking in this
Really?
thing. He is like that.
He's
He can
got
get
it
up.
like
He can
that?
sky. He can sky as well.
Dude,
Doesn't show it. Does not
that's
show it.
so good.
Also, the most reliable
Versatile.
free throw shooter in Miami. Does not miss
Yeah.
from the line. Does
He-
not miss.
I tell you what, he missed in a couple of those Boston games. I wasn't nervous having him there. I'll be honest with you. There were a couple of those Boston games where I went, I'd rather have him there than Jimmy Butler.
Oh, Jimmy
He-
Butler is
He
good.
Yeah.
takes most of the. He takes the technical free throws.
And I think that
almost
was
all the
purely
time.
because I think he was just hadn't shot a free throw in the game in a while because all he'd been shooting were threes.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're all going Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Duncan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can I say even? Can I just
Yeah,
even it?
they're even.
No,
They both have
I'm
chances to
taking
go
Duncan.
above each other. I would say Duncan's a bit more consistent. Just
I'm taking the 6'7"
These playoffs,
Duncan
but then I'm
Robinson.
going to go championship experience to even it out.
No,
yeah,
still taking Duncan.
I'm taking
got a chip
Duncan.
on his
I'm
Robinson.
going to say
shoulder.
I'm going to say even for this
Undrafted.
one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Undrafted.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's gonna hit. Dude, he's gonna be so good. So keen. Be a
From
lucky. What were you saying?
D3 college as well.
Yeah. Let's move on to small forwards and
Yeah.
probably the best matchup. Although I'm very interested about center. The best
I was
matchup
gonna-
is going to be LeBron versus Butler.
I was going to say, I reckon the game, like, for matchups, it changes so much when it comes to the forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
very true. Very true because who else can?
Well, realistically,
They might even have Iggy playing 30 to
I
35
was gonna
minutes
say realistically, Miami have
this series. He
some of
just
the
knows
best
what to do
defensive
against
forwards,
LeBron.
don't they?
And for people, and I know kind of very much agrees with me with this one. People who go, yeah, but that fucking Brock against the fucking finals to win the fucking game. First of all, if Kyrie doesn't hit that shot, that play does not mean a single thing. Two, I think Iggy's pretty happy with his 3 championships over getting blocked once.
but
Yeah.
what a block.
Yeah.
It was a
But
big
what a
block, though.
It was a very
But-
big block.
But
I think Miami might have some of the best defensive forwards in the league.
Two immediately that they can change and change and change. And
Iggy,
change.
Yeah.
you got
Straight
Iggy,
away.
you got
You got
Jimmy Butler,
Iggy.
Jay Crowder, really good defensively.
Dude, there are 3 people they can throw at him.
Who else do they have there? There's someone else on.
I think they're going to back Jimmy to go on him all the time.
Exactly,
I think
but-
they might even run a zone,
but-
to be
but
honest, most of the time. Still.
I think it's only going to work well against them, except for the fact that LeBron will know to drive and kick.
Yeah,
and
that's the only
he's
problem.
very capable of it.
And they don't
Um,
call charges on LeBron,
yeah.
so he's gone.
But I think that Miami are going to be quite fortunate in the fact that Jimmy can go off, come onto the bench, and they still have someone to guard LeBron.
Yeah.
'Cause
Jimmy's
not many
one of
teams
those
have
weird
that
players
luxury.
too. That like when Tyler Hero gets in a zone shooting, he's
Yeah.
unstoppable. I feel like Jimmy Butler's the weird gets in a zone defensively and just becomes the most disruptive person.
Right?
Him and Marcus Smart are very
He's just
similar.
a
The most
prick.
I
disruptive
feel like
people.
six steals in a bloody 5-minute period is where you cannot pass the ball.
And that was in the 4th, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did that in game 2, I think.
Yeah.
Game 2 or game 4 against Boston.
It's ridiculous.
He's just a prick.
Dude, he just gets in the way and you just can't do anything about it. You can't pass the ball when he's near you.
And he knows when to commit. Like he's a lot of players get caught out and lost when they're a bit hesitant to commit, or they only got 50% and they'll miss the ball or something like that. He'll either go 100 or he's not going.
Yeah.
And that just makes him so dangerous.
But yeah, he's got the head on him to make those decisions. He'll play the percentage game, which is hard to do in a split second
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah.
But
it's
saying
LeBron.
that, it's LeBron.
Finals LeBron.
It's LeBron, yes.
Finals LeBron. If you want to go statistically, there's the what I was saying in the chat. There's 33% chance that LeBron wins this series, but there's a 67% chance that he loses
think
again.
As much as I
25%.
love Miami and I want them to win, the teams that he's lost to in the finals aren't Miami. They're Golden State 3 times. That's Tim Duncan, Tony Parker Spurs.
Yeah, they're
There's old man Dirk was one. Like the only one you could possibly think is like comparable to it.
no, but dude, I don't think he's ever versed a team like Miami. In
No,
terms of of depth.
Do you want to break it down really quickly? So the first finals team that he went against was
Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah, Tony Parker
was the-
Finals MVP.
That was what in 2007.
7. Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best Spurs you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
That's the best Spurs you're going to see.
No
Next
one
one.
was beating them.
The next one was old men. He got beaten by old men. That was a flop. That was just the worst possible
Was that
situation
the Dallas
to
one?
be. He got held to 8 points one game. That's not good enough.
Was that Dallas?
That was Dallas.
Yeah.
That was Dirk. The JJ Barea played on him. That's just not good enough. The next and Jason Terry. Jason Terry switched on him. He's a bum. He's a bum.
Yeah.
The next season, the best version of LeBron James demolished. Didn't care who was in front of him. That was the KD year. Did not care.
Yeah, he
That
won
was his
MVP that year, I think.
best version of LeBron, hands down. Scariest sight in
Wait, was
basketball
that
was that
first
fucker
year
going to the
Miami?
ring.
That was his
Second
second year in
year,
Miami.
Second year, yeah.
There
That was-
was no more scarier sight than LeBron either going on a fast break towards someone or going for a chase down block. That was the year that was LeBron's prime. Next one, just rinse and repeat, but against someone else. Who did they play that year?
San Antonio. That's
San
the
Antonio
Ray
again.
Allen hit that shot
Bang!
after LeBron
Yeah.
hit like 17 points in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
straight for Miami.
But people only talk about the shot.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are like, oh, Ray bailed him out.
Then the next year, LeBron. This is where it starts getting a bit shady because that was not the best Spurs at all.
He got locked
They-
up by a 22-year-old Kawhi, who got
They played
his first finals
very
MVP.
average. Played very average. They were really relying on role players because Timmy Duncan was doing Tim Duncan stuff, but at a very low rate. Patty Mills had to step up a lot, and Aaron Baines had to step up a lot. That was a really odd series for Spurs. But Popovich pulled it out of a hat.
I feel
LeBron
like
could have done a lot better that one. He that was one of his what's it called, survival mode LeBron games.
I
where
feel
he's
like
just getting
that'll
stats.
probably be the closest one to this one, right?
Yeah,
you think
but
just
then
in terms of team play?
Then Golden State, he lost to the biggest underdog, Golden State of all time, and people go, yeah, it was Golden State, but that was the Golden State that wasn't supposed to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was Golden State that came out of nowhere.
So
They did
Steph
have
and
some
Clay.
injuries. Somebody that Mitch doesn't like might have pulled Kevin Love's arm out of his socket. Kelly
God.
Olynyk just went yank. That was a bit. It's a bit if like that's the only thing you can sort of say in LeBron's favor in that sense. But he still should have won that series.
Well, I think if we're gonna rank all of it, and then they played the unstoppable Golden State. That was
Yeah.
the best.
The 17 and 18.
Let's
Especially
take
18.
them.
He's not doing anything
Let's
against that.
take
team.
them out of the equation. They're not versing that level of. He's not versing that level, and he doesn't have as good as help this time over.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But if we're going Spurs, I think they're better than all but one of those Spurs teams. I think.
Yeah, I know, but the way what I meant by in terms of he hasn't versed a team like this is I don't think there's ever been a team that has so many options.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Like, and the fact that what we were talking about before is that okay, Jimmy's having a quiet night. Tyler Hero will step up. Oh no, he's quiet. Duncan Robinson will hit 6 threes in a row. Oh no, he's quiet. Bam Adebayo will drop 30 points. He's quite
Yep.
Drawn Dragic. Like, fuck it, it's so scary.
And this is another thing, we can go back to LeBron. One of the things I don't really like LeBron is he doesn't like the marquee matchup. He won't go to the leading scorer.
This playoffs, I've seen him do it a lot more.
He's doing it a lot lot playoffs.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
picked
matched
up Jamal Murray a
last
couple of
game,
times.
yeah.
and I think that's because KCP has been really disappointing
He's-
overall. But
Yeah.
so now you've got to sort of factor in now too. LeBron's been playing probably more defense than he ever has before. Does he get exhausted? Is that unrealistic expectation for him to get exhausted because it's LeBron? Like,
I
it's
think
one of those things.
since he was in Miami, he hasn't played defense properly. Like he was, I think he might have made an all defense team, a couple of all defense teams when he's in Miami. Two, yeah. And that's when he actually tried defensively. And then he's like, well, I'm not going to stop Steph from scoring. I should just try and outscore him. That's
Yeah.
pretty much, I think, what his mentality was after
Because
that.
I don't, like, even if he plays his best defense,
And I think,
no
and
one's
I think
slowing
this is
KD down.
Yeah, and I think this is like a sort of thing, once again, credit to LeBron, is that he knows his career's shorter if he plays that hard
Yeah.
as he was in Miami.
Yeah.
It's just a sad reality, I suppose, for a basketball player. But
Yeah,
I think, head and shoulders, I think
you got to take LeBron over Jimmy.
you got to take
it's-
LeBron, but I don't think it's comfortable. I don't think it's comfortable for
Jimmy
him. I
will,
think he's-
Jimmy will
I
annoy
think
him.
if you want
Jimmy will
one player,
give it to LeBron.
one player guarding LeBron other than Kawhi Leonard, you would choose Jimmy, I think.
And I think I think so. But if you're Eric Spoelstra, you're trying to make this. You're planning a 7-game series. You're beating
Lucky.
him down game by game by game by game by game,
Yeah.
chucking everybody at him.
Well,
And
Lockie,
then-
what are your thoughts on the LeBron matchup?
So I was going to say this before, but one of my favorite things to watch for this playoffs is Spoelstra coaching versus LeBron, because Spoelstra will know how LeBron's going to play, and he'll know how to match up his team of young guns against someone like LeBron. So he's going to I reckon he's always going to put his best option on LeBron, no matter what is going to happen. Even then, it's playoff LeBron. So, so I think I would take LeBron over Jimmy, but I do not think Jimmy's going down without a fight, 100%.
100%. Just on what you said, Hertz, it was you that said you think he'd run a zone, right?
Yeah, I think he'll run a zone.
I just think LeBron will expose a zone too much.
Yeah,
Like and because like obviously they don't have the best shooters around, but I think
Could you go box and one?
I don't know what that means.
because if
That could be annoying. So box and one's a 2-2 zone. So two at the back, two at the front, and then you've got
then
one
one
bastard
just-
running
yeah.
around after LeBron.
I think
Yeah,
Very
that could work.
Again.
That sounds like it could work.
I think if they run a zone, that you're going to see Danny Green heat up because I just think LeBron will be too good at exposing it. He's played basketball for too long, and the way that he makes people better around him, and the way that he passes the ball, I think that he'll destroy a zone. And because Boston don't have we don't have a playmaking guard like that, and we don't have a body like that. We don't have someone that can just do that, like that can do either that can make people around them that much better, or can just do anything. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that if they run a zone, they can't. Like, LeBron's gonna kill it. He'll have 15 assists every game if they run a zone.
If they do a zone, yeah, I agree.
And because he's not afraid to not score.
And if you've got the three bodies, like I forgot they had Crowder for a lot of this while we were talking about it, but they've got an extra body, so they're going to throw probably Jimmy 100% first, and then they'll go to Iggy, or do they go to Crowder first?
I think they'll go Iggy first, and then
So they've got 15 fouls.
Yeah, right.
They've got 15 fouls to use to get. Oh well, more than that. They've got 17, 18 fouls to use just against LeBron, and not be worried. That's a lot of. It's a lot of contact you can force.
Yeah, 100%.
You got
over 7 games, you get fouled 18 times a game. That's going to take a toll on your body.
Yeah,
I'm 100% taking LeBron, but it's not in a comfortable way.
I do think one criticism Brad always has about LeBron is when he just throws his hands up. Jimmy Butler doesn't do that, and he'll fight through the contact every time. And he doesn't make them all the time, but he will.
Is Jimmy the one to put LeBron on his ass and say, play man?
Jimmy's so good at using his little shoulder, and he'll either just hit a quick fade, or he does that little thing where the quick stop and then the turn around fade. And I'm so keen to watch him this finals because Miami exposed Boston when they were flopping, when they were doing that LeBron flop where you just throw your arms up. They exposed us, and they made the most of it every damn time.
And they didn't do too much of it last series, but they are really good at getting under people's skin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they can utilize Kelly Limit to do that. Maybe.
Oh God! Watch out,
expendable body off the bench.
I've got the cap on. I'll be nice.
I just want to say one other thing about a big man of Miami's bench. Myers Leonard has the most energy for a guy who's seen like 2 minutes of
lost
playtime.
all of his minutes, and he's the best person on that bench.
Yeah,
and it's
he's
a very
so
good
excited.
He's got military background, doesn't he? Is that right? He's got military background, right?
Oh, probably. He looks like it. He looks like
I think
he
his
would.
family's in it.
He's got the right haircut and all that. Yeah.
They always surprise him with his brother, and he cries every time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Do you want to go power forward?
Power forward.
So is AD going to play power forward?
He'll play center.
Yeah, he's definitely. So one thing, say what you will about AD, in this year he's been one of the best people to shut down Bam in games.
Yeah.
AD. Yep.
Oh.
Bam's had like 12, 13-point games against AD.
Both those games that Miami played against Lakers this year, I think they were both on the back of back-to-backs.
Yeah.
And
so that's like, obviously that's something to consider, but also,
he did do something against Bam.
If AD plays more in the paint, it's going to be a problem for Bam.
Yeah. I think Bam is going to...
He's getting bored, AD.
So stubborn. He's been so stubborn not getting...
It's up, and I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just cutting out.
Yeah.
I think.
There
Well,
you go.
wait. We'll talk about power forward first. I think we were about to jump to centre.
So who's that? Who?
So power
Who
forward.
else would play?
Who's power forward? They're going to play JaVale or they're going to play Dwight Howard. You guys were saying. You reckon they're going to do the double centre?
I reckon they'll start Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I don't know who else I would have that could. They're not going to play. They're not going to start Kuzma because they haven't. They
They
might,
refuse to start Kuzma.
but they
Good.
and they were like dead set on keeping him.
It's usually JaVale for 3 minutes and then he gets taken off.
Yeah, how
So-
weird's that?
In the last game, just
Who's
looking
power forward for? Who are they starting at power forward for?
against Boston, they were starting Jay Crowder, weren't they?
Yeah, they
Jay Crowder. Well, I choose Jay Crowder
Well,
because I feel like this
no,
is
but-
just an interchangeable spot. for
Really
Lakers.
quick. In the last game, they started Anthony Davis at power forward and Dwight centre, but we'll keep Anthony Davis at centre.
Mhm.
Markieff Morris might get a
Markieff Morris, yeah, that's what I was going
decent
to
run
say.
at power forward.
Because
Still going to take
he's
Crowder.
just but he's
but
just
he's
a prick.
yeah, he's a prick.
Is
But
Jared
like, he's
Dudley,
such-
the king, going to get me? They
He's
cannot
so
play Jared Dudley.
you don't know what you're going to get from him. Like Morris, they're both of the brothers actually. They're very like they can show out sometimes, which is
Yeah.
scary.
I think the
Like 1
Clippers
in 10
Morris is
games they
better.
come and drop like 30. And like
The Clippers Morris
Oh
is
shit!
better.
These
right?
guys can play.
which one is this one again?
Isn't he? Isn't the Clippers one better?
I don't know. They're both drafted back
He's
to back.
been
It's funny.
he's been in better situations. I feel.
Because I haven't really just talking this series. I
They're
think
the
I've
same
seen more of the
player.
Clippers than I have. Is he just? Does he play the exact same?
player.
Yeah.
I think so.
They are the same person. Have you ever seen
Um,
Markieff and Marcus in the same room?
I think they'll see Markeith. I think they'll start Markeith because I think he'll match up better against the smaller, quicker power forward
Yeah.
than I think one of the centers will. And they're like, oh yeah, go size, go big. I
Don't think you can
Heat
do that
will.
against Miami.
Yeah. So I think if Jay Crowder's starting at the 4, who else do they have that starts at the 4, Herzl?
So they could have Jay Crowder. They could slide Iggy up into the starting lineup, but I think they want him off the bench.
Yeah.
Who else are they starting? They were. Oh, who else are they starting off the? I can't remember. They had Oh no, what they were doing earlier in the year. They had Myers Leonard, I think, at the 4.
Do you
And Bam.
think he'll get minutes?
Oh no,
They
No.
can't give him minutes now after
Myers
not playing.
Leonard and Kelly Olynyk were both sort of like one of them would start at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them sort of fell off the rotation the last few minutes, and Solomon
been-
Hill was getting minutes.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Don't
Don't know
Is
what
he
the hell's
just out
going on
to
there.
scare him?
Grr.
Yeah.
I think the pure reason for Solomon Hill, and he did sort of the same type of role when he played for Pacers, is he just runs, gets back on defense, and then will happily just move the ball
Really
around on
quick.
offense and
So you know,
not be too productive. But he's
I
also
haven't
just
been-
gets back. He's just a body. It's very strange.
It is a very.
But he's good at it. He's good at it.
I really quick.
He
I've
spot up
only,
3-2
I haven't
sometimes.
watched much
Yeah.
Miami, but I've only seen sort of in the bubble. And these last few games, I've seen Solomon Hill for what he is, the way he looks at the moment. This is, I don't know if it's going to green screen it weird or not. This is what he actually looks like. Like he's a normal, he looks like a normal bloke. Like,
He looks
why
like
is
a
he
Solomon.
looking so weird now? He looks like a normal dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It,
He just
Don't
doesn't
know.
give a shit anymore. He's like, I'm going to win a ring and kill myself. Like, what?
yeah, it's gonna. Oh, I don't even know. He's a weird looking dude.
He's just a strange cat, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's the
He's
sort of bloke that
officially
if you're
Eastern
walking down the
Conference
street,
champion.
like
you wouldn't want to be against him in a
cross
fight,
the
though, would
street.
you?
So, because it's so interchangeable, who do we reckon? Which team?
Gonna
I'd
have
say
to
Miami,
go
'cause-
Crowder.
Jay Crowder
If
would be
Lakers
starting.
play AD there, then AD. But otherwise, I think I'm going to go Crowder.
Yeah, that's what I reckon too, Mitch.
Only problem
Yeah.
is when Miami went small for a few minutes and Enes Kanter was against the Miami small lineup, he was
Exposed.
easily he was fucking up Iggy and Jay Crowder. He
Dude,
was
just
doing whatever he
like-
wanted.
But AD likes to fucking sit out at 3 and not.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
not
so
get
that
Dude, I
might.
think LeBron's going to be in his year. I think we're going to see a
Get-
different
It's a
AD
different
this
beast
year.
now.
Get in the fucking
And I
paint.
also think I also think AD is going to have a different mentality this series purely because it's the furthest he's gone, right?
Yeah,
He's going to be the difference between winning and losing. AD.
Yeah.
100%. But I think his mentality is going to be massive this series because
Needs to be.
he's there to win. He's like, yes, it's my chance.
If we move on to centre real quickly, which is going to
Yeah.
be Bam versus
AD.
AD, if I'm playing on AD, I'm telling him every possession, you're nothing without LeBron. You're nothing without LeBron.
No.
He will suck up, and I guarantee he'll shoot himself out of the game.
Dude, I don't think he'll suck up. I'm
He-
seriously. I think we're gonna see a different AD this year.
How far'd you go without him?
No.
Can't do it yourself.
Do you know how to get a
when
fucking
he's on-
board?
When he's on the bench, when LeBron's on the bench, they need to go to fucking AD every time. Where's your daddy? Where's your daddy?
Where's
Everyone
your
just starts playing
eyebrow?
B.
Where's your other eyebrow?
I reckon they could stir AD up to astronomical levels where he just shoots himself out of the game. But yeah, if you kind of want to have a little bit of a chat about how Bam's gonna take this matchup,
Oh well, it's a hard one. Bam is a better than average perimeter defender for a big man as well. So AD does like to go out, and when Bam was like switched onto Kemba in the last series, he didn't look totally lost. I mean, Kemba's put
Just
a lot of
good.
people on his skates. Kemba has some of the sickest handles in the NBA, but Bam looked not entirely uncomfortable. So I think he'll be okay with AD out in the three. I think he'll be able to handle that.
Yeah,
I think AD's a bit bigger.
I think
Bam's more athletic.
Bam's gonna be
It's
one of
a
those
really tough
deciding-
matchup. AD is a better player because he can shoot better. He can space the floor better than Bam. But
I think
Bam's really improved. Like have like a mid range. He's hitting his free throws at a really high clip now compared to I think he's gone up by like 15% from regular season to bubble. Bam's free throw
Yeah.
numbers have gone up
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount. Like
I think Bam's going to be one of the deciders in this on the defensive end.
yeah,
I don't think we're going to be seeing he will score and he'll do a lot of the scoring, but I don't think he'll be the person that gets him over the line on the offensive end. I think his energy is going to be in the defensive end
Yeah.
because the Lakers are going to be way better at guarding that pick and roll. They'll just be more switched on because they've got
they're not gonna
because
have-
they're not potatoes. They just play the game of
not
basketball.
Got some big ugly German
But-
dude who can't defend.
Dude, he's just he did some good things in game 5 because he saw that Enes Kanter's going to take his spot next year and he goes, fuck, I've got to play for it. And then game 6 he kicked the shitter again. But anyway, I think Bam, like AD won't be able to have the rebound games he's been having the past few. How he's had those low
No, he has to
numbers.
get
He's
the
had
boards.
5
get a
boards,
board.
3
Get
boards,
a
2
board.
boards.
He's 6'10",
right?
dickhead.
I don't think he'll be able to do that in this series because Miami is so good at the 2K Pro-Am. Get the ball and just ping it and just go.
Yeah.
Just go quick. And they're explosive and they make the right option. And they did it a lot against Boston. Is that there were so many times when on the fast break there was 3 Miami players and not a single Boston player in that half because they were so quick to go. And I think Bam will just have to go defensive this series. Like he'll
Yeah.
because he either way, whether he's playing defensive or offensively, he'll give you a minimum 10 points. Just off putbacks, off a sneaky pick and roll here when they get slippy.
and Jokic couldn't do it because he was in foul trouble a lot of the
Exactly.
time. They need to get Bam into the post and play just
100%.
rough. Not fully rough.
Body
Don't get
him a
yourself in
bit,
dumb.
right?
You need to get his chest every single
100%.
time, and you've got once again. I think Eric Spoelstra, and I think he knows this as well. You just need to stretch out this series, this game,
100%.
every game as long as you can. It's going to benefit you a
Um,
lot.
But yes, I think Bam on the defensive end here is going to be massive because AD has been scoring.
Did anything come from AD's injury last game too? Just while we're on AD, he
Did
hurt
he
himself.
hurt himself?
He had an ankle,
Shit.
but nothing. I've heard nothing
heard
from.
nothing
so I take
about
it
it,
it's
so-
not. I feel like it's nothing then.
No news is good news in injuries, I guess.
Yeah.
No news is good news.
So did
Another thing to consider, I reckon, is AD has looked a lot more tired and worn out than Bam has. Bam looks like he has so much left in the tank. AD was like walking
Yeah,
a lot during the Nuggets games.
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
I think
because
though.
one. Yeah, I like
think-
that idea.
I think
you
we'll
just got
find that
to
he's-
just stretch out the games.
Just
make those
AD
guys
being
run.
lazy though.
I think no. I think
AD
we're gonna
being
find-
lazy.
He's
I don't-
prone to being lazy, but he just cannot. This series, you know what you're getting from LeBron every single game.
Yeah.
I think
AD's got to step up.
I don't think AD will be like. I know Bam's quicker and more explosive than Jokic and stuff like that, but I don't think he'll be as tired this series purely because Bam isn't as versatile as Jokic. Like, and I love Bam, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And he plays point center a lot, and he's great at option, like as at being a passing option and playing through him and all that. But just when you compare to Jokic, who played the series he just played,
Yeah.
I don't think Bam's at that level.
Yeah.
And I love Bam, don't get me wrong. But I think that Jokic, you have to play hard 24/7.
Yeah.
Bam has a good mid range, but you don't have to be this close to him constantly, and you're not afraid to leave him at 3.
And if
Whereas
he closes out, he's probably not going to shoot it. Where
Right.
Jokic is
Jokic
probably still
goes,
going to
I'm
ping it.
splashing this in your
Sure.
face, right? So I think Bam is like, if he gets his mid range going, he'll be really dangerous. But I think Anthony Davis is going to need to have a big scoring, like, because he's been on 35 points a game or something these last few games,
And
right?
it's good. Lockie brought that up before about the free throws and Connor about the free throw improvement. It's because he's also getting to the line a lot more. So
Yeah.
hopefully he puts AD on foul trouble early, kind of get
So-
them back for the Denver series.
AD
referees.
had 20. So my mic's stuffing up again. Okay, we're back. So AD had 27, 34, 27, and I think it was above 30 before that.
How many of those are free throws?
31.
Though, as well?
Yeah, but you look at the game, so it was 103 to 105 when he dropped 30. It was 106 to 114 when he dropped 27. And it was 114 to 108. So those Lakers games are going close, right? When he's scoring big numbers. So if you slow down Anthony Davis, LeBron's got to do a lot. And then it goes back to what Brad's saying. If you lengthen this series as much as you can and get LeBron tired, which LeBron's not going to get tired. We can dream.
We
I
know
don't see him getting
what we're
tired,
getting from LeBron.
right? I think if Bam just defense, 3 blocks a game, 10 points, 12 boards. He's got to slow Anthony Davis down. That's how you
that's
beat
the
the
main
Lakers.
thing. Stopping AD, because you can plan for, like, this is how many points we need to score.
Right.
This is how many points that LeBron is going to score. We need to stop the
Yeah.
rest of the team scoring 60 points because LeBron's going to score 40 himself.
Yeah,
It's
because
the finals.
there's such little depth. Because there's such little depth in the Lakers in terms of Danny Green being quiet, KCP being quiet. Kyle Kuzma can only give you 8 points some games. Otherwise, like he can give you 15, but then other games he's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
If you get rid of LeBron's options and you go, LeBron, this is on you, right? That's when it's going to fucking open up. I mean, I still think Anthony Davis is going to average 27 plus points because, again, I think we're going to be
16 of
better
those
than
were from
Anthony
the free
Davis.
throw.
We're gonna,
Oh,
dude, I promise you, I don't think he's going to be flopping as much. I seriously don't.
Better not. I'll
Because
fly
we
it all
If
over
we
myself.
drink one of these games, you have to take a shot every time
Huh?
that he flops. I reckon we're
drunk.
ambulance bound.
But
They're not seeing the end of the
no,
games.
but seriously, man, I tell
the
you,
end
he's
of the
going to come
day.
out with a different mindset. And I know that he flops and he sits out at 3 a lot. And with his size and weight and skill, he should be going in more. But he's one of the best skilled centers in the league. And I know you don't like to hear that. Like, I know that you're a bit against AD, Brad. Like, just in terms of a bit overrated. But he can score the ball. Like, he's a
100%.
versatile center. Like not passing, but scoring wise. Like, you can't leave him open at 3. He can go to work in the post. He doesn't, but he can. We've seen it happen. I think he's going to come out with an aggression that we haven't seen these past few series.
So who do we reckon?
I love Bam. Oh, I can't. I'm putting them
hard.
even. Brad did it in one of the other series, so I'm going to put him even.
Yeah, I'm going to say even too. I think that's the matchup that decides it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to come out and say it. If for some reason, for some godly reason, I don't know, that it's Dwight Howard on Bam, Bam's going to win that.
100%.
Otherwise, it's very difficult.
It's so
but
tough,
I think
isn't it?
I would take AD
think-
just slightly.
Same, I think, but I don't want to say it because I love Bam and how
Yeah,
good
me
he's
too.
been, right?
Like, you guys know every single episode of the pod I talk about Bam.
And because
if they turn AD into a shooter this series, I think it's going to be Bam. But if AD does what AD's best at, which he doesn't do, then it has to be AD.
Well, I think the best thing we're
what
going to
AD we
see out of Anthony Davis is if Bam doesn't get his mid-range going, then I think Anthony Davis is going to lock him up a little bit.
I
He'll
think
still probably give you 10 points, and they'll be all off pick and rolls.
I
Because
think if AD's not scoring though, then you've lost. He's not contributing anymore. If Bam's not
Yeah.
scoring, he's contributing.
exactly,
I think that's where I'm going.
I tell you what,
I'm just gonna
I
still say
think as well is I think Bam will have a good game if Goran Dragic is having a good game.
That's a good call.
Because if
That's a very good call.
Goran Dragic is
call.
scoring like he has been some of these games where he just quick shot off like the pick and roll, it just opens up the court for everyone else.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I put them even because I love Bam and I've got to give him the credit that he's from the last few games. But it's so close. And I think Anthony Davis is just a little bit above the even, but it's even. Because Bam, I love him. And he's so good. He's been so good as well.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it's hard for me to choose between those two as well because obviously
We will not judge you if you go biased because you've watched him so much more than all of us.
like I know AD has all of his attributes that he can do, but Bam is just so explosive and he can just
Right.
make things happen. He can
You can never
he'll
count
just
him out.
pull some weird 360 through the legs dunk out of nowhere and you'll be like, what?
Oh, he can jump.
He can jump, yeah, that's right. He can jump really high.
He's one of those blokes that you can never count out.
Yeah. I'm going to go Bam, but I think that's mainly bias. I'm not sure. I'm going to say Bam though.
But if we're all going even and Lockie going AD, you can go even. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going Bam.
Yeah.
Bam is going to score 30 and 15 every game.
And then because we've been going for a while, I think we might just talk about the bench as a whole instead of backup.
Like a supporting cast.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you got to go Heat, right?
Got to go Miami. They got it's pretty much Iggy, Hero.
Hero's just gonna be astronomical,
right?
You got Kendrick Nunn can sometimes come off the bench as well. And
what's his go? How come he's not?
So he was starting all season. Goran Dragic started 3 games, and those 3 games were when Kendrick Nunn was out injured. And then
That's insane, isn't
Goran
it?
Dragic just picked the right time.
Is that just for development, you reckon?
24, he needs to get on the court a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Who else did they have coming off the bench? I hate to say it, but I'm wearing the hat.
He's been
Olynyk
very good.
has balled out.
So in Game 6, so if we quickly touch on this, Game 6, Miami had 8 players play. Solomon Hill played 5 minutes, and then everyone else, Tyler Hero and Iguodala played 34, 27, and then Jay Crowder played 29. Everyone else is above 30.
Yeah. Was that the overtime?
No, that was Game 6.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, they had an 8-man rotation, and one of them played 5 minutes.
Shit.
Is there any particular reason Jones isn't playing much?
I'm not sure. I think he might have just been a matchup thing.
I think he's just there to jump.
It's kind of like Dwight was in Houston.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because he did play a bit in the in the bubble game, the first couple of series. I think he played a bit more.
I like him as far as an overall player, as a power forward. He's nice.
He's got a really good pick and roll game going as well with Dragic.
Because no one's getting as high as him.
Yeah, you can throw the ball up to the top of the backboard and he'll catch it for you.
The only person in the league getting close to that is Giannis because he's so long. But there's no one jumping up with him.
Oh, I think
it's got to be Heat support.
It's everyone on Miami's bench versus Rondo, and then occasionally Caruso and Kuzma.
Well, Rondo and Morris, if Morris is off the bench.
Kuzma has to be I'd probably say the most overrated player in the NBA as far as how Lakers fans portray that man.
Yeah.
He just he's no good.
Yeah, you got Rondo, Caruso, Kuzma, Morris. I think Caruso might be all right, but again, I don't think he's going to be anywhere near as good as Hero.
And watch this from LeBron. I've noticed this really, really heavily in the Denver series is that when Kuzma's on the court, LeBron almost is at a constant eye roll the whole time. I don't think he likes the way he plays And I feel like that's really been what's happening with court time related with Kuzma. So I think he might not be there next season, win or lose.
Oh,
some of Kuzma's shot decisions, like his decision making when he's shooting,
he's very confident in not a good way.
I don't know why though.
Just overconfident. Like, didn't he have a couple of games where he came out and dropped like 25 points or something like that?
He was like 2 or 3 in a row at the start of the bubble.
He hit a buzzer beater to win the game against Denver and like earlier on in the bubble, and then he's like, "Yeah, I am the greatest player on earth. I don't know why I'm not."
Why'd you get LeBron? Why'd you bring LeBron here?
Yeah, right.
I got this.
Could have done it.
Dude, yeah.
Jesus.
So, shall we move on to the predictions?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Who wants to go
who's
first?
Gonna start us off?
I'm nervous. Can Connor go first?
No, I think Connor should go last. I think Connor should go last.
Yeah, Herzl last.
Last, okay.
I'll start.
And then you throw it off.
Okay, so this is a really tough one for me, and I think you guys are gonna hate me for this one. I'm gonna go Lakers in 6.
Fuck you.
I'm going Lakers in 6 because I think Heat will get in the middle of this series. I think Heat will do really well. I reckon Lakers will start off really well, and I reckon Lakers will finish well. I reckon AD, as much as I love Bam Adebayo, I reckon AD will keep Bam down in at least some of these games, and I reckon LeBron is just gonna somehow power through this young gun defense. But disclaimer, I would love if Miami won this series. I would absolutely love it, but I'm gonna go Lakers in 6. Brad, I'm tossing it off to you.
All right. So I've been thinking this one. I've been really holding off saying the boys about this one. I'm gonna say Heat in 6. And my logic is, Connor, are you gonna say Heat 6, please? Okay, don't tell me. I want to know. But Heat in 6 purely because when LeBron James has 2 stars beside him, he wins. He wins a championship every time. When LeBron has 1 superstar next to him, he does not win, and he goes into survival mode. Stats. I get 35, 15, and 15, but I lost. I'm not the problem. Survival
Right.
LeBron will come out. This is my only reason, and the supporting cast is just overwhelmingly lopsided.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to say Heat in 6 purely because he's only got AD. And if you're relying on AD, I'd prefer to rely on Bosh. I'd prefer to rely on Dwayne Wade. I'd prefer to rely on Kyrie, Kevin Love, rather than AD. I would prefer Kevin Love. Kevin Love plays his role beautifully. It's just he needs 2. He needs 2 solid players next to him is when he's at his best. He's got 1. That's full stop.
That's a fair call.
That's my only
This
logic.
is the toughest one we've had yet, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And we don't know. We know how LeBron performs in finals. We know how. Oh, he's probably the only one we know how to perform in finals. But the Heat hasn't seen this group of Heat hasn't seen except for Udonis Haslem and
He's not going to play.
Iggy.
Yeah.
Every time my brain goes, yeah, go this team, my brain also goes, but this. So I go Heat, but LeBron. And then I go, okay, Lakers, but depth.
Yeah.
And I think my brain just can't go against LeBron. It won't let me. I think I'm going to go.
He's only won 3 out of the 9 he's been in.
I know, but Brad, it's LeBron.
Exactly. He's only won 3 out of the 9 that he's been in.
No, but Brad, it's LeBron. I think I'm going to go Heat in 7.
Oh.
I was going to go Heat in 6.
That hurt you to say that. I could tell.
Yeah.
You can go LeBron. No one's going to be mad at you.
I'm going to go Heat in 7,
Okay.
purely because of this kid here. And I'm praising up to the Henny hero.
And they bet something.
But I'm on the Heat train either way. If Lakers win, I was backing Heat the whole time. But, like, in our predictions, you know what I mean? Like I'm going for Heat, but your predictions are just so close. But, yeah, so Heat in 7. And I think the guards are going to be what will win it for Heat.
And sort of a little bit of double information. I reckon Lakers are winning the first 2 games. I still reckon Heat win.
You reckon Heat's going to go 4 in a row?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I reckon it's going to be Lakers first
that's
2,
not
and it's going to be Heat.
I don't see LeBron letting Heat win 4 in a row. He'll drop 120 points if he needs to. I don't think he'll let them. But yeah, I think it'll be the guards that win it for Heat. If Danny Green and KCP don't get their shit together, I don't think the Lakers will.
I have one more bold prediction after Connor. By the way.
Go on, Connor. Go on. Imagine Connor comes out Lakers in 4. And we're just...
Yeah, just what?
You would have just ruined my whole life if you did that, Connor, because I've been relying on your picks this whole podcast.
Yeah. All right. So
Dennis Rodman, the guest.
Dennis Rodman in 4. So this decision's got a lot of bias in it. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be Miami in 7. Okay.
Okay.
Here's a few things that I'm thinking. So here's the first one. It's a little stat that I'm rolling with it. First round, Miami won 4-0. Second round, they won 4-1. The conference finals, they won 4-2. Now in the NBA finals, 4-3. That's just how maths works. It's like 0, 1, 2, 3 losses. Yeah.
Maths
So
works.
Miami in 7. But also, like a counterpoint, like Brad is saying, he only wins 1 in 3. LeBron only wins 1 in 3. His last 2 finals, he lost. So I'm like, he's due then. He's due, but I don't want him to be due. But
dude, you know what I mean? Every time you think 1,
I know. Like
it's just
I really struggle with this one.
I'm trying to think of it.
It hurt to say Lakers for me.
Right. Once again, check Instagram, Facebook. I think it'll be Instagram where you'll see Chinook's prediction for this and a couple of reasons why.
And Lakers looked really good against Nuggets. It's just that the refs just made it unbearable. They looked really good apart from that.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to
give
a tip that isn't biased because I want Miami to win so bad. But also,
how are you looking at the game? Say, like, just go sort of like you're not a Heat fan. How are you looking at this game? Don't give us a prediction or anything, not as a Heat fan, but just how are you seeing it?
I'm seeing it as Miami's, like, if you go position by position, Miami's better, but LeBron's going to take 2 of those and just make it 1. Like, he's like the 2 matchups that we say that Miami had better, the 2 guards. I think LeBron's like goodness overwhelms the 2 deficits that the guards lose, which is that's why it's so hard for me to like think Miami will win, but like I want them to so much that it's just like making me say Miami.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like LeBron is good. So
right.
So good.
Oh, dude. Legit.
And it'd just be romantic if the Lakers win it. It's
like, that's one thing that we didn't mention.
That is like one extra thing. Like that's just so much. Like I want Miami to win, but at the same time, if the Lakers win it for Kobe, LeBron is going to cry with the final MVP trophy in his hand, saying, "This one's for you, Kobe." And then I'm going to cry.
Where is it? You can't see it. But let me get it.
Kobe. He's right here, mate. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kobe.
Either way, you've got a team winning a championship for Kobe, or you've got a young Miami team proving that the biggest underdog team taking it all. And I don't think anybody will be mad if either Lakers or Miami win this one.
And they're a 5 seed, Miami. They were a 5 seed in the East. That's
but I don't think anyone expected them to be that high. Still, like at the start of the year,
expected them to be good.
Except for Hurtle. But
not this good.
I thought they were going to miss the playoffs entirely.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, it's been massive for this bubble and the bubble playoffs. It's really exposed team basketball over stars.
Yeah.
And I think, which is going to be crazy for next year because next year is.
Oh, Mitch,
have we cut out? Are we back? Hello.
Yep.
Okay.
You're back.
So I think team basketball has been massively exposed this bubble and bubble playoffs, and I think it's going to be massive next year because next year is probably the most diverse, spread out, like that we've ever seen our superstars. There's so many duos and trios as opposed to super teams, right? Like you got Brooklyn, you got Washington with their duo back,
Golden State with their duo
Golden State. You can even talk about Boston with Tatum and Brown after this. You got AD and LeBron,
Book and Ayton.
You got possibly Paul George and Kawhi still there.
Jamal and Joker.
right? Like it's the
So
most
good.
spread out that we've ever seen our stars, and it's just going to make for such good basketball consistently. The Timberwolves, you got Cat and D'Lo.
Yeah.
Like Brad, I know you don't like
Cat's
but,
overrated.
but you get what I mean, though. Like, and
Yeah.
I think we're going to see the most from supporting casts as opposed to
Just how it needs to
superstars
be.
balling out. Yeah, it's going to be pure basketball.
My big prediction
Yep.
for
Let's
the
hear it.
it's
Let's
a
hear
bit
it.
out there. Picture this: Lakers win. Who cares how many games? But if Lakers win, I feel like we're going to see LeBron say thank you, put the trophy down, and say LeBron out,
Whoa.
and he retires, and that's it.
I don't.
That is huge big dick energy.
That's a big.
He
That's
does, yeah,
a
the
really
LeBron
big-
out.
So
Like
LeBron's
Kobe.
legacy isn't great as far as championship basketball goes. He's won 3, lost a lot. He wins his last one. He puts a full stop on and goes, "I finished."
Yeah, right.
LeBron didn't. I mean, Michael didn't do that. Kobe didn't do that.
No, and it's
Wilt didn't do that.
It's also that choosing when you retire.
Choosing when you retire. Kobe didn't get to choose. Michael chose, but came back.
Didn't really.
But
he
he
was
couldn't
very
give it up.
decisive about it. But I feel like that would be so big for his legacy and say, "I finished at the top. No one can take that from me ever again."
And he goes and
If he
accepts
says-
the job as a Clippers coach.
Watch him though. He won't say LeBron out. He'll say the King out instead of because you know how like
Oh, I
Kobe
didn't want
was
to
like,
say that. That's
out.
not coming out of my mouth.
Right. But if he does that, I might cry.
Yeah, no, I think I would too.
If he goes like LeBron out, like Kobe did, I would legitimately just go.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if
so
that
that's,
happens-
if Lakers win, I think that's what's
I
that could
I
be a
don't think
very
he'll
big
If that happens, we're not
possibility.
doing a video podcast after that because I'm going to be crying
Yeah.
the whole time.
Balling. Yeah.
Okay, we do have to. We've been going a while. Well,
Mitch's
do
moment.
we want to brush over coaches really quick? And we didn't really talk about the coaching battle. We'll talk about the matchup again really quick. You got Spo or you got Vogel. I'm taking Spo.
Yeah, taking Spo.
every single time.
Yeah, man.
Because
Cool.
Vogel's repertoire on offense isn't great, but he trusts LeBron enough to do
Yeah.
what he wants. Defensively, he's really good, but he's really good at shutting
it's-
out those individual players.
It's
He's
almost Spo or LeBron.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, and Spo knows LeBron.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, and then just segue from that, do we want to talk about the coaches that have moved around in this
You
little
can really
break?
touch on that.
Doc Rivers.
So yeah, Doc Rivers gone.
That's one step
Lockie.
to Chris Paul coming back.
Lockie, you've got something good.
Yeah,
Yep.
Billy my for
Massive
my
kicker.
Levine if he stays. If Levine stays, that'll be so good for him.
The little thing I want to touch on with Donovan is he's a contender now coach. He's not a development coach. You get him in to win games, and you've got the personnel. Zach Levine's getting traded. I think
even though he's like a win now coach, he's really good for development of single players to win now. Like you look at Dort, you look at Shea,
Adams was his first.
Right? You know what I mean? Like he even though he might not be long term rebuild, but he's like these players are going to be good now.
You're going to be 8th seed contender next year.
Yeah,
I reckon. Do you know who I reckon will benefit the most from Billy Donovan's coaching?
Kobe White.
Kobe White and Wendell Carter.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah,
Wendell Carter needs a coach that can just tell him to go get it.
Wendell Carter needs a coach that'll tell him to get in the gym.
He needs to get swole.
Yeah. But yeah, that's great news for the Bulls. Nash to Nets. I think did we speak about that? I think we might have already mentioned that. But either way, I think that's a pretty good pickup.
He's had a really long-standing relationship with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant ultimately picks the coach for Nets.
Yeah.
From their Golden State days. Both won a ring together at Golden State.
There was actually a little bit of drama about him getting that job.
About the whitewashing.
In terms of whitewashing, they don't reckon that black coaches get those sort of opportunities without any experience. Yeah. Which
Tyronn Lue kind of did, didn't he?
Top 5 point guard of all time. I'm probably going to take. Jason Kidd was a huge flop, but I'd prefer Nash over Kidd any day.
And then last but not least, a little celebration. D'Antoni, capital G, capital Lawn, gone. Thank God. Except he's being looked at,
this a few weeks ago.
Brad, you said he's being looked at, right?
He's getting looked at by 76ers already.
Why?
Imagine the most injury-prone injury-prone coach going to the most two injury-prone stars. That's another
Oh.
duo of stars: Joel Embiid and
Duo
Ben
of
Simmons.
stars. And a few ones on the hiring block. Mike Brown is officially being given permission to go talk to Philadelphia as well. So that'll be a coach. Mike Brown, 100%. He's been sacked for D'Antoni before. So, and Mike Brown was the better coach in that little battle that they had for Lakers when it was Kobe, Dwight, and Nash. Funnily enough, Tyronn Lue has been given permission to go talk to Clippers as a head coach.
Yeah.
I thought he was already at the Clippers, isn't he?
For head coach though.
Oh.
So he doesn't need permission.
Yeah, he's just like
I read that
Hello.
wrong. And he's also been asked to talk to 76ers.
Do we rate him, or do we think he's LeBron?
Awful. It was a mouthpiece for LeBron.
He pretty much had the little playbook. He's like, here you go, LeBron, you do you.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And Kidd has been approached also for possibly going to Clippers as well.
It's gonna be massive once they get signed.
Yeah, my favorite one out of all of this is Becky Hammond has been given permission by Spurs to go talk to Pacers for their head coaching job.
That would be
which
awesome.
Should be
the first
so
female
big,
head coach, right?
So
I
big
think so,
for
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so big
awesome.
for the NBA one, and also good for her career as she's.
I think that'd be good for Pacers.
It'd be good for Pacers.
Yeah.
She was a very good player. She was one of the only players that I actually knew, and it was really exciting when she got to Spurs. And she's
good on her.
She's really good.
She's been there a long while too.
I think they've officially, unofficially, started to groom Tim Duncan for the head coaching spot. And I think, Becky, do what you need to do. Go to a different club because you deserve it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, but that's all the news that I've found.
Just want to touch on one thing. We did mention, we thought Chris Paul should go back to the Clippers. The first domino to fall was Doc Rivers. He had to go to get Chris Paul back. He's gone. The way they worded it was really weird. It was like he's moved out of the Clippers or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a really weird way of saying he got sacked. Or
yeah, that's nuts.
Because he was basketball operations person as well.
Can I actually just on that, Herzl, I had a little brain blast. I think Boston need a playmaker point guard.
I just got a brain blast.
Brain blast.
Okay, am I back?
Gone.
Okay,
there he is.
Yeah, I think Boston need a playmaking point guard, and I think CP3 would fit Boston really well. That just popped into my head, and we'd obviously have to get rid of Gordon Hayward for it. Because they're on the same salary, right? Or very close.
I think he finishes the Bucks next season.
But I think CP3 would be awesome at Boston. But from there, I think we go into everyone's favourite segment.
Mitch's Maltese.
Mitch's Maltese.
I just got to mention, we've been copyright striked for the theme song. So if anyone has any suggestions for a theme song, send them in. I'll listen to them and I'll pick my favourite.
I might know a few people that might give us a theme song for a shout out. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do any music or anything like that, or if you've got an idea, send in a theme song and we'll review. Because if not, you got to listen to my singing again. But with that, let's get into it. So we've got a short multi at high odds again. The last one got up. It is the first win of Mitch's multis, by the way. Woo! Get up and about. But yeah, so we've got a shorter one again today. So we've got Goran Dragic over 20 points because no one's going to slow him down. Tyler Hero over 15 for the exact same reason. Duncan Robinson to hit over 2.5 threes, and then Anthony Davis to get 25 points. That's the one I'm a bit unsure about. Then we've got Rondo over 7 assists and Bam over 10 boards, and that'll give you $28.50 odds. So put the house on it, but always gamble responsibly.
You're getting 28 houses, fellas.
Exactly. Always gamble what you're willing to lose, because if you follow mine, you won't lose. No.
Oh my God. But also, I've been doing this for 4 weeks and got my first win.
Exactly right. But yeah, get up on that. But yeah, for a couple of your smaller odds and stuff, don't be afraid to back the guards from Miami. And I think LeBron's a pretty good one to back as well, just in terms of rebounds and assists. He'll always give you those points if you sometimes you can load up on him to get a heap of points. it can be a pretty safe bet if you put it on every week because at least one game it'll get up. But yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet. So, do we have anything else from there? Players to watch.
Players to watch.
Players to watch.
There's
Connor.
mine.
Handy hero.
No, I'll try to think of a better one.
I've got about 15, 16 players over here to watch.
And one coach.
And one coach. My player to watch. Actually, I got a matchup to watch, okay?
Oh.
A lot of people tipped this would be the finals matchup. Antetokounmpo versus Leonard. I don't think they tipped this exactly, but Myers Leonard versus Costas Antetokounmpo.
Will either of them get any minutes this year?
Nah, never get a minute of game time. One of them is getting a ring.
Costas gets
like
a
I
ring.
said to you boys before, Costas getting a ring before Giannis.
Right,
That'd be
imagine.
funny.
Oh, dude. Nuts. But yeah, give us a player, Herzl. Go on.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with Iguodala.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to put Max
that's
Kellerman
mine.
here. Max Kellerman. Is it him that said it?
I'm
I
taking
want Iguodala.
Iguodala.
But all seriousness, I think he's going to do what he's been doing, do his role and do it really well, and give Miami a red-hot chance to win this series. So I'm going Iguodala. Lockie, who's your player to watch?
This might seem like an obvious one. I don't really usually go for the obvious players to watch, but LeBron. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
right.
going to fight tooth and nail to get this series gone as fast as he can. And if he'll do whatever it takes to win, just like, for his 4th championship, for Kobe, he's got so many reasons to win. And Brad, if you're right in saying that LeBron does retire on this one, he'll fight as
That's a
hard
last
as he
hurrah.
can.
Yeah.
He'll fight as hard as he can to make this his last hurrah, if that's true.
That's so scary. He's going to be so
So,
scary this year.
LeBron James.
Great call.
Mitch, let's go to you.
So, I mean, realistically, I just want to say the Miami Heat bench to watch. And I was going to say Tyler Hero, but that is a bit of an obvious one. He did just drop 37 points, so he's on everyone's radar. I think I'm going to say Jay Crowder. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people here and get a lot of looks purely because Lakers are going to focus on the stars and the not stars but scorers. So like your Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, who got, they're going to be looking at those people to score. And I think Jay Crowder is going to get a couple of sneaky 15-plus point games and will also match up really well on LeBron. So over to you, Brad.
My player to watch. I tossed up. I had 2 players for this one. One was negative, but one was positive. So I'll go. My negative one was going to be Kyle Kuzma because I reckon he could shoot the Lakers out of it if he gets too much court time. But I'm gonna go with my player to watch, Dwight Howard.
Jeez.
Dwight Howard, he got embarrassed the last playoffs by taking it too lightly.
Yeah.
Kobe exposed him to a royal degree for taking it too lightly. So I think he's going to, 1, take it really seriously, and 2, he's going to be doing what Bam's going to do to AD. So bodying up AD all game, and I think they're going to put Dwight on to body Bam up in
I think
return.
he's happy playing that role now as well.
He can be the pest. That's
Yeah.
a perfect role for him. He was a dickhead, while he was bouncing around teams, and he's embraced it and been really good at it. Keep going. So I reckon Dwight could be. We've given lots of love to the role plays of them, but Dwight just played his roles the best I've ever seen. I think him ever play.
Yeah.
Against
as a role
Nuggets.
as a
role
star,
player,
obviously it's not the best, but yeah.
No, but I think it's the best. Yeah, him playing his role
as a team man. I think another player. I'm not giving 2 because that's against the rules, but I think just to give one from the other team would be Markieff Morris. As you know, Rondo. It'll be Rondo and Markieff Morris. I got excited.
Morris in the trash. It's Rondo.
I think Morris defensively will be a player to watch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is exciting.
But yeah, how keen. Again, check out Instagram, NBeanA, just to see Chinnick's predictions, his player to watch, his prediction for the series, and just a couple of little notes from him from past games. He'll get something up on there. Don't be afraid to chuck us a question. I did have a couple of people say they were going to send questions through, but didn't. Jai.
And we've been getting lots of comments and asking us where the episode was. We're a bit late this week, so
sorry about that, fellas.
No, we kind of thought we had some really good feedback from Riley, if you're listening, but which is sort of deciding where we
Exactly.
filmed today, which was really helpful. Helpful.
But yeah.
Um,
So yeah, don't
sort of
thanks.
any
Keep sending it through.
feedback, questions,
I've got one
things
more
like
thing to
that.
say before we
Yeah.
continue wrapping up.
Nah, sorry, we're finished. Bye.
Remember when Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be the third star for the Lakers this year?
Yeah, what a joke.
Oh,
Herzl, your
Oh.
ears look really warm. What's that you've got there?
oh, this is a beanie from the Brain Dead Brothers. This is their Wanderer
'em out
beanie, and it's
At
really
Brain
comfy
Dead Brothers.
and
on
looks
everything.
fucking sick.
Cool. And they've got a
Um,
really nice hat at the moment, which you need to get for summer. too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But everyone, just
they've got a new summer range coming out soon, so keep your eyes peeled on them.
But yeah, I think before we go really quick, I think again, questions, feedback. Get to the Instagram NBeanA. We've also got the NBeanA Podcast Co. We've got one of our sister podcasts that's gotten up and going, which is the Tits and Other Shit podcast. They've just released their first episode, with the second one coming out really soon.
I think that was filmed today as well.
Yeah, so definitely get onto that. That'll be a great listen. But yeah, send us through your predictions. Who are your players to watch? But yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Cool. Thank you.
Beans.
Beans.
Sick.
Sick.
And wrap it